Around the world, this is a political talk show here on WRMN. That's WRMN1410.com. For those of you that are playing at home, thanks for watching wherever you are, and thanks for listening to the podcast as well. You can find a political talk show on your favorite podcasting platform. Well, I am back again today for a great discussion with my good buddy Jim Vaselli, and he has brought in a special guest. So it's going to be both of the Vaselli boys in here today with me. Let's go ahead and bring them on. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Jacob. It's good to have you in here for your first time on the radio.
What do you think, buddy? You can talk.
It's good. That's right. We love having all the Vaselli boys on here and in the studio as well. Jimmy, thank you very much for coming on today.
Thanks for having us. We're really excited to do this today.
250 years into the making, that is what we've got coming up here. We've got some great things happening with the 4th of July celebration, and it's 250 years of the Declaration of Independence. So I wanted to bring you on a little bit and talk about how did we get all of these rights, and was it the Declaration of Independence that decided to do it? For those of you that want to play along at home, we've also got a great slideshow to go along with it. So, Jimmy, let's start out the lineage of liberty.
I love it.
You and I both love the Founding Fathers, and we've got a great admiration for President Lincoln as well. So I kind of put a little bit into here with the Declaration of Independence and Constitution. So back in the day, liberty rises in 4 steps is what we put together here. So the individual, right?
Yep.
Even a king is bound by law. A person holds rights no ruler may strip away. This is 1215. That's way longer than 250 years.
Absolutely.
So where did this come about? Because Magna Carta is something that essentially, once it's written like this, is law or has become law or is referenced in law?
If my memory serves, and I wasn't around in 1215, seems like it sometimes, the barons forced this upon King John. Mm-hmm. So there was I think, if I remember, my first interaction with this was I was about Jacob's age, and there was a Disney movie with King John, and I think he was a lion, and the barons came in and forced it upon him because he was taking advantage of his position. Mm-hmm. Now, England was in an odd spot there because King Richard was the main regent, but he was off. I think he spent 1 year in England. I think he was literally kidnapped longer than he was actually in England.
Oh, wow.
And so the barons thought that he was being a tyrant and a dictator, so they pressed it on King John to create these rules. And the Magna Carta is one of those seminal documents like the Code of Hammurabi or the Ten Commandments or whatever quasi-judicial, sometimes theological text that becomes part of our basis of law today.
To me, this is where philosophy and politics kind of came together. I mean, Plato talks about the philosopher king,
yes,
and all of that other simple type of side. The Magna Carta, when it came out, it was like, I don't care where you are, what class you are, what wealth you have or don't have, you are a person, and therefore you have these rights.
100%.
So then the next step is that's the individual, the people. This is where a group of people, this is where our declaration comes in.
Yep.
A free people may declare itself independent and govern by consent. The Declaration of Independence puts that out in plain language, right?
Yeah.
And this is what we're celebrating this year, and almost the entire year, it seems like that we're doing this. Because this is where the primordial U.S. starts. We didn't have a constitution. We didn't have these laws that were here with us, but we had this declaration that said, look, if you live over here and you're part of this and you're a patriot within the United States, you are under this declaration.
Yes, and I like to think of it as the inversion of power to a certain extent, at least in a document. Now, there's a lot that goes into this, and so much that some people say tyranny exists today, but I think in documentary form, it is a rising up of the people to be governed upwards rather than dominion from downward.
Absolutely.
And I like that thought. Now, again, the people who are real. I mean, think about the guys in the room. Kind of, they all look like us, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not really the most universal or diverse crowd, but we'll get there. We're not there yet, but we're going to get there. But yes, I think it's an inversion of the powers on there, and it's kind of like the Bill of Rights itself, in so much that the First Amendment is a different type of amendment than all the rest.
Absolutely.
Is an expression of freedoms rather than a restriction on the governments.
Exactly. And this is where the Declaration comes in with that side. And most of it was a Dear John letter from the colonies, where the colonies turned around and they were like, look, we have the right to break up with you because of the Magna Carta. Almost 500 years ago, they wrote this about a king. So we're going to write this about a king in 1776. Yep. So if you read the Declaration of Independence, more than half of it is just complaints about King George. It's if you actually sit down, we all take it for this altruistic declaration. We're all free and everything else. That's about it. Everything else is this guy did this and he did that, and this is why we don't like him. And so that's where the people decided that they were free. And you and I agree that the start of the nation was actually with the Constitution.
Yes.
And because we had the Articles of the Confederacy, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
It was the Confederation. No,
it's a Confederation of States, and it was the Articles of Confederacy. It was a loosely bound agreement to keep them basically from warring with one another. As essentially, I'm overplaying this, but city states, and it's just. It didn't work, and it fell apart almost as soon as it started.
Well, and that's the way that Patrick Henry almost wanted it, right? The Anti-Federalists were back into that side where they didn't want to go and hand that power back to the king. And so when they made the Declaration of Independence, they wanted to make sure that independence trickled back down to the individual as well. And it wasn't until the Constitution where it was actually ratified that these were going to be the rules that the Republic was going to live by.
It's so well put, and that's why you're so good at this. You articulated that better than I ever could, but so we've taken it from down to up, now we've codified our rulings.
Exactly.
And it is really a way that we have a system of governance, and one that allows itself to change over time.
But it wasn't enough. And this is why the Anti-Federalists put in here. And this is what always gets me we love the First Amendment with the Bill of Rights. We love the Second. We love all of the Bill of Rights. But the last Bill of Rights, the 10th one, was state sovereignty, which doubled in the fourth article of the Constitution. So the states already had their own freedom because liberty arises from the bottom up. And so the states already had their freedom, and it was the 10th Amendment that solidified it once again. They wanted to make sure that once again that there wasn't tyranny from that federal government. And so that is where I am looking forward to the next 20 some years of celebrating the 250th anniversary of this whole process of these people doing this for the first time.
You know, I love the way you said that. And the 10th Amendment to me is one of the most, it's just kind of the most unclear of all the amendments. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a very telling statement. I think there's two telling statements. And I apologize we don't have more time to spend with you here today. There's two telling statements that I love that we would talk about is one, it's a messy system.
Yes.
We have the best system, but it's still messy, right?
It's ambiguous.
If you are a little man and you eat chocolate cake, it's great, but it still gets all over your face sometimes, right? It's not always clean or simple. That's number one. Number two, I love what you said about the Declaration of Independence as being a bill of particulars. These are the reasons that we must break up with you, dear George. Because a document that we're going to talk about, and it really gives me chills, because the Declaration of Independence is my favorite written document, and my favorite speech is the Gettysburg Address, second being Hyman Roth's speech in the second Godfather movie. But in the Declaration or the Gettysburg Address, Lincoln extols the virtues of patriotism and what people have sacrificed to make this a more stable union.
And he wrote a great letter in our closing here, because you got to get out of here to something else. But I'm glad you got to sit down with us. You too, Jacob. It's great to have you here. Abraham Lincoln wrote to John Speed in 1855. And this was when the Know Nothings and the nativist movement was happening in the 1850s. This is where people were saying, well, if you weren't born here and you weren't raised here and you weren't born on this soil by these particular people, then you aren't real Americans.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's the no true Scotsman logic fallacy, right? Is you're not a true American. I'm a true American.
Right.
They're not a true patriot. So what I love about Abraham Lincoln is a lot of times he had the right words for the right situation. And in a letter to John Speed in 1855, he says, quote, "As a nation, we began by declaring that all men are created equal. We now practically read it, all men are created equal except Negroes," back in that 1855 side. When the know-nothings get control, it will read, except Negroes, except foreigners, except Catholics, and where else would it go from there? So Lincoln pushed back, insisting that when we say all men are created equal, he includes women, he includes all races, all religions, and all countries in that. Back to that Thomas Paine approach, that my religion is doing good, and I'm a citizen of the world. That's a pretty good catch-all right there.
Yeah.
Final words, Mr. Vaselli?
Thanks for having us on. I'd love to come back and go through the slideshow with you and me at some point in time. Thanks for having Jacob on. He's a big White Sox fan, a big
Sox.
Caleb Williams fan, and believes that hot dogs are not sandwiches, right? Are they sandwiches or no, buddy?
They're not sandwiches.
They're not sandwiches?
They are not sandwiches.
Well, it's good to have the Vasellis on. If you want to know more about the Declaration of Independence, if you want to know more about the Constitution, I recommend going and getting one of these fantastic pocket guys. The Cato Institute puts out a great one that literally just has the Declaration of Independence and Constitution. I'd put a couple more in here, like Washington's inaugural or something in here, but I've only got so many pockets, Jimmy. So
Cargo shorts.
Exactly. Well, thanks for listening. This is Apolitical Talk Show, WRMN 1410, and make sure that you get over to your favorite podcasting platform where you can find Apolitical Talk Show right there, and head on over while you're on the internet to jmvchicagolaw.com, where you can learn more about Vaselli Law and how he can help you with your next legal issue. So thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.